Last minute reminder, could officials assemble down at the far corner of the pool deck? Competition starts at 8:45. Can we clear the deck and make sure all of our 53 competitors, ladies, are at the pool rooms, please, for this morning's heats? Okay, so put your hands together for this morning's officials as we welcome them out on deck. This is the Irish Summer Youth and Senior Championships 2023. This is day 2. This is session 4. And I can see Pat in the corner just getting our officials ready. So put your hands together. Here they come. These are our officials for this morning's session. Thank you, everybody. Thank you once again to our officials throughout this weekend for helping us run this 2023 Irish Youth and Senior Championships. Our officials this morning, so our referees this morning are Mr. Pat Daly. Thank you very much, Pat. And looks like Lou Miller from Pokeries. No. We're going to go, Antonio Hoskins is the second referee, they're tricking me with the lineup. And our starters this morning are Denis Galan, thank you Denis, and Lou Miller Compova is our starter, thank you very much. Officials, you may take your seats. Our order of events this morning, our first event is the women's 50-metre freestyle, followed by a men's 200 backstroke. We then have women's 100 butterfly, then our men's 50 freestyle. Moving on to a women's 200 IM, a men's 100 butterfly, and concluding the morning will be the mixed 400 metre relays. Here come our competitors for the first event, which is the women's 50 metre freestyle. We begin this morning with heat 23 of 32.
Well, hello and welcome to the 2023 Irish Summer National Youth and Senior Championships. We're at the National Aquatic Centre in Dublin, and action is just about to get underway. We'll be beginning with the female 15 and over 50 metre freestyle. We've got a couple of really quick heats for you to come, but we have two very knowledgeable swimmers alongside for the day encounter. David Thompson, former sprint freestyler, will be with me for the first events, and India McGlynn as well. Welcome to both of you. Quick thoughts on the day ahead?
Thanks, Twin. Yeah, looking forward to it. Some sort of faster events today. You know, yesterday we had the 400 medleys, 200 freestyles, some 200 backs. We've got 50 frees today and the 100 fly as well. So it'll be very, very good to see some more sprinting going on.
So we've got two of our favourite events, don't we, David? 50 free and 100 fly coming up this morning. So I'm sure we'll be jumping out of our seats if there's some good swims.
So the very first of the day's heats is heat 23 of 32 in the preliminaries. The faster heats are going to be swum in the morning sessions. Anna Knight-Farrington, Keela Flanagan, Clara Svoboda, Saif Bailey, Amy Russell, Mary O'Sullivan, Nela Litsakova, Claudia Glenna, Rihanna McCormick and Izzy Lannon go in the first of the heats. They'll be up on the starters blocks very, very shortly indeed. And this, I suppose, for many has been called a splash and dash for a number of years. It's a little more technical than a splash and dash, but there's not much time in the pool, so even the slightest error off the starting blocks could cost the swimmers.
Yeah, it all comes down to even reaction time, you know, angle of entry, breakout. So even before these swimmers have broken the surface and done one stroke, the race can ultimately be decided, because if you have a poor start or a poor underwater, it's going to cost you for the rest of the race.
Lanes 4 and 5, Russell in 4, O'Sullivan in 5, with the faster seeding times getting underway. Going nicely in lane 6, a great underwater from Litsakova of Czechia, who comes out quickly and on top, and Litsakova is leading at this halfway stage. She's about half a body length in front of O'Sullivan. Russell is chasing up as well. O'Sullivan looks like she's closing on Litsakova. And in lane 5, it's a very strong swim from O'Sullivan, but Litsakova looks like she might just hold on to the wall. And it is Litsakova just ahead of O'Sullivan, with Glennon touching third quickest.
Yeah, she had the best start by a country mile. You called us straight off the bat, Dwayne. If you've got a good start, you can carry your momentum right the way through to 25 metres. Use that advantage off the dive. The 50 freestyle becomes a lot simpler. You know, if you've got a poor start, you're always chasing. You know, sometimes tense up, and you'll not be able to let the race flow as it should be. So,
good strong finish as well from Glennon, who was able to close down on third place. To the next heat we go, heat 24 of 32 in the prelims. Jenna McArdle, Antonina Seck, Molly Mulvey, Emma Corkery, Holly McGearney, Louisa Humphreys, Aoife Scott, Sarah O'Connell, Eileen Lund and Caitlin Keogh. Decent underwater, decent start it looked to be from Seck, but coming up nicely is Aoife Scott in lane 6. Louisa Humphreys is going nicely once she's broken the water. She looks to be the quickest at the moment, but do not discount the swimmer in lane 8. Lund is looking very strong as well. She looks to be now being caught by Sarah O'Connell going in 7. But coming back very strongly in 5 looks to be Louisa Humphreys. Who's going to touch first? It is going to be Lund just ahead of O'Connell. Humphreys out-touched. She finishes 4th overall. McInerney just getting in before her.
yeah, good swim for Lund there. Almost 0.6, 0.7 under entry time. So, you know, carried the speed very, very nicely through that last 15, 10 metres. Kept the momentum going.
To heat 25, Elena Samir, Holly Wilson, Holly Marks, Isla McClelland, Ellie Falls, Ava Byrne, Jane Ryan, Mia Willen O'Connor, Ellie Campbell and Isabella Kavanagh. We're going through the heats relatively quickly. It's a great underwater from Ellie Campbell going out in lane 8, but she comes up, breaks the water, and she's already around 8th in this swim. There's not much separating the swimmers in the early stages of this tie. Whelan O'Connor looks strong. So too on her inside, Jane Ryan. Ava Byrne now coming back a little. It looks like Ryan and even Ellie Falls getting involved in potentially touching quickest. Ellie Falls just short of Ryan. 28.68, 28.96, and Whelan O'Connor touches third quickest.
Yeah, getting down to the 28 mids now, Dwayne. So we're looking at 27s will be popping up very shortly. Swimmers wanting to look at that 27 high mark and push to make finals tonight. All about staying relaxed in the block, don't tense up.
So Brown, Childs, Mattia, Yelverton, Prunty, Bailey, Baird, Quinn, Doyle and McMaster go in the next heat. Really quick reaction time from Eva Bailey, the 17-year-old going in lane 5, breaks the water nicely and comes up not quite in front. Shannon Bird looks to be the swimmer who's in front at the moment. And Bird is being caught on the outside by Doyle. Doyle is going really strongly in lane 8. The 17-year-old has come back after breaking the water a little later. It looks like she's going to touch quickest and does touch quickest, 28.32. The only one to break 29 seconds in the heat.
Yeah, she was comfortably had the highest stroke rate towards the end of that race. But you want to try and limit your breathing, especially on that last 25 metres. You know, even though she won the race, she breathed, I think, once or twice in the last 5 metres. You know, you can't be doing that in a 53.
Winterbach, Biggin, Friel, Walsh, Fabian, McGrath, Williams, Nolan, Dempsey and McKernan go in heat 27. Good reaction time from Nolan going in lane 7. All the swimmers break water very, very quickly. None have extended underwaters, but at the moment it looks to be Beth Nolan and Kiara Williams, maybe alongside Kiara Williams, Izzy McGrath as well, looking like she's making up some serious ground in the water. But Beth Nolan heading for the wall first. It looks to be Nolan just ahead of Williams. It is indeed, with McGrath touching third.
Yeah, first of the 27s, Beth Nolan comfortably finished off that race strong. Not much separating these girls early doors off the dive. You know, as we get into some of the more talented elite swimmers, you'll notice the really good starts, but she finished off that race flawlessly.
Mulhall, Harrington, Lawless, Casimir Chuck, Henry, Doran, Killen, Curry, Dickens and Putney. Again, not particularly long underwater for the swimmers. Going in lane 5, Sophie Doran looks decent at the moment. It looks to be Doran and Laura Killen who are swimming quickest. Killen looks to be in front and just extending her advantage in the pool. Killen looks to be coming to the wall fairly comfortably ahead of anybody else. A little bit of a fight back here from Doran, and it is Killen who out-touches Putney. Doran only third quickest.
Yeah, a lot of those swimmers coming up very early. You'll not see a lot of swimmers on a 50 freestyle stay under the 15 metres. Very, very rare that you'll get that. You know, it'd be very rare that your underwater kick would be faster than your top speed on freestyle. So a lot of these swimmers, and you'll see it more so even in the men's, will get up after 4 or 5 kicks.
Kenny Maguire, Allende, Gardner, O'Brick, Byrne, Ledgerwood, Tesliuk, Ivory and Logan. A reminder that there are some foreign competitors in the field as well. A host of internationals. No more than 2 can make it through to the final, but in this race it looks to be Alice Ledgerwood of Trojans going nicely in lane 6. Also in lane 5, Shannon Byrne. Looks to be going quickly, but it looks like Ledgerwood coming back. And is that Beth Gardner who's making a bit of a push? And it is going to be Ledgerwood just ahead of Gardner, ahead of Byrne.
Yeah, great shot there by the camera team in the HPV. Right down low, you can see exactly the stroke rates of those swimmers coming into the wall, keeping your stroke rate nice and high, not letting it drop. 50 free's hard. It's hard to keep relaxed, but also keep fast. Good 27 there from the winner.
Into heat 30, Rika, Minto, Allen, Semche, Phelan, McCullum, Donegan, Nolte, O'Neill, O'Hara. Very nice start from Molly Nolte going in lane 7. Molly Nolte has got some speed. Elle Donegan as well has got some speed about her. But it looks to be Nolte who is controlling the race. Just coming back very strongly in lane 4 is Rosalie Phelan. Rosalie Phelan coming back strong, but Nolte looks like she might just have it. It is Nolte who has it ahead of McCullum with a very fine finish. Phelan finishes 3rd.
Very impressive there from Nolte. The most impressive 50 freestyle we've seen this morning. Just was flying 26.98.
Yeah, first swimmer under 27 seconds.
Yeah, it was flying the whole way down the pool. You know, everything moving forwards. And even on that last 10, 15 metres, the head was down. Everything was moving forwards. Nice high elbow stroke.
The penultimate heat now in the women's 50 free, 15 and over. Kennedy, Kirscher, Trite, Bailey, McCullough, McDougall, Kidney, Liddon, Miskelly and Marriott getting away. It's a great start in 5 for McDougall. Gina McDougall is looking strong, but certainly on her outside as well, Isabel Kidney and Liana Liddon. It looks like Liddon is pushing the pace here. 6 and 7 really battling. Kidney and Liddon trying to go under 27 seconds, 27.05 for Liddon, just ahead of Kidney.
Yeah, didn't quite get to the 26 mark, but getting a lot of winners, aren't we? Up there in lane 7, sort of lane 7, lane 8, lane 6. That must be the fast lane this morning. Before our final heat now, Cora Rooney in 4.
Gutsakava, Noble, McCall, Witten, Rooney, Grant, Salah, Jones, McLean and Paisley. The action from the 2023 Irish Youth and Senior Championships at the National Aquatic Centre. This is the final heat of the women's 50 metre free. And looking good in lane number 5, Emily Grant. Grant is being caught a little by Megan Jones going in lane 7. And so too Julie Salah is coming through the centre, but it looks like Emily Grant is going to take it, and Grant does take it.
Yeah, Grant took it very high. Stroke rate didn't quite get into that 26 range, but it looks like 27 sort of mid to high will get you in an A final here for tonight. So good swimming there. 53 sometimes hard to do first thing in the morning, you know, because it's such a twitchy athletic event. You got to be super fired up. You know, so expect faster times tonight, but that was a good first event.
Very good first event. To the next event we will go. It is the men's 15 and over 200 metre backstroke. Welcome India McGlynn to the commentary team as well. She'll be joining us for the slightly longer races, and indeed there's a little more opportunity to talk through the swimmers and what they can achieve and how they're going about achieving what they're hoping to at these championships. For some, this is the pinnacle of the year's swimming. For others, this is great preparation for the under-23 championships to come. I suppose there's a little something different for each of the swimmers that's made their way to these summer nationals.
Absolutely. David and I were speaking about this yesterday. So for a lot of these younger swimmers, the Irish Summer Championships are their last event of the season. So they'll be pretty much pinpointing this as, focusing on their main events. Have some of them coming in. It will be their last race before they take a couple of weeks off before they get back into their heavy training come September. So a lot of them are going to be prepped and primed and ready to go. And then some of them, we've got some of our international swimmers that will be coming back in a couple of weeks' time to the European under-23s, which will be held here in Blanchardstown in the National Aquatic Centre. So they're probably just coming in to see if they're slightly on form, if their taper is going well. And we'll be starting here in the 200 metre backstroke for the 15 and overs.
So to the men's 15 and over 200 metre backstroke, we'll start with heat 8 of 13. Lynham, Spillane, Tanvir, Martin, Coleman, Lennon, Connolly, Lacey, McKeon and Nugent. So good underwater from a couple of the swimmers, but going in the lead early on. Rudy Lacey going in lane 7 is looking really strong, but also going in lane 1. Adam Spillane has got himself out into a decent looking advantage.
Absolutely. So we spoke about this yesterday as well in the women's 200 metre backstroke. We definitely feel the 200 metres has changed from more of a from more of a mid-distance event to a sprint event here. So a lot of these lads are going to be looking to take this out nice and strong in this first 100 metres, not switch off on the third 50, and then really power home on the last 50 metres. So trying to keep that nice steady head as they go through this first 100 metres, really rotating through the shoulders and keeping that long and strong leg kick up as well.
Yeah, but you've also got to be focused on the turns. Rudy Lacey looked like he was a little close to the wall by the time he made that turn, and
absolutely,
getting your turns wrong can cost you.
Definitely on a backstroke event as well, using that 50 metres underwater is extremely important, because that's where you're going to catch a lot of distance. You can see some of these lads here, maybe just a little bit less experienced, they're only getting about 5 or 6 metres off the wall. I know you can definitely see in lane number 7 there, it's getting very, very close to the wall, so probably not getting the best push off here.
So leading the way at the moment is Rudy Lacey. He's looking decent in the water despite an errant first turn, you might call it. Ibrahim Tanvir, one of the international swimmers, is out with Hamilton's in UAE. Not unfamiliar to Irish swimmers, I think, with Molly Main being based out UAE as well.
Absolutely. So we have Molly Main training in UAE for a little while. So we actually have one of our old Irish coaches out there training with Hamilton. So Martin McGann used to be the main coach for NUIM swimming and moved out to Hamilton about 5 years ago. So it's nice to see Hamilton coming over and supporting the Irish Championships for a majority of the championships that we come back. And they have been swimming very well the championships as well.
So at the moment it looks like Tanvir, who is sitting in second for a while, has just been overtaken by Adam Spillane coming through into second, but it is Rudy Lacey who is leading the way, the 15-year-old. Looks like he's closing in on the wall, despite the relatively quicker finish here of Adam Spillane. It is going to be Lacey who touches ahead of Spillane, and then Tanvir third.
So it was a fantastic race there from Rudy. He's dropped about 6 seconds there coming into this final 200 metre backstroke, so strong swim there from the ESB swimmer.
So to heat 9 of 13, Gray, Brennan, Beggs, O'Brien, Pickett, Howard, Hilton, O'Leary, Murphy and Vaughan. These swimmers are largely 15 and 16 years old. Charlie Brennan, though, 17, and 18-year-old Reese Gray goes in lane 0. In the backstroke, the only event where the swimmers start from inside the pool. So a DNS from Cathal O'Brien, not in the race, going in lane 3. But getting off to a relatively decent start is Ethan Howard, the 16-year-old.
Yeah, Ethan Howard looking quite good, but very up and down sort of head position for him. But I think the camera actually there was on lane number 2, which was Daniel Beggs. So you want to limit that head movement up and down. You want to keep the head as still as possible, as being illustrated by our leader at the minute, Ethan Howard.
Ethan Howard just ahead of Reese Gray, not too far. Charlie Brennan is not too far behind either. But building up a fairly substantial advantage at the moment is Ethan Howard. After that first turn, he has come away from the wall and is extending his advantage by some margin here. There's still 100 meters to go after the next turn, so you don't want to take it out too quickly, but you want to conserve a little bit of energy in the pool for the remaining 100. But that is a very strong second 50 from Ethan Howard.
Absolutely, yeah. You can see the splits there. He was 34.9. You look at the rest of the field, 37, 37, 37, 38. So, you know, it's important in that middle 100 to not back off. It's a real temptation on a 200 to sort of the first 50 takes care of itself, and then the second and third 50 you can sometimes fall asleep because you're saving yourself for the back 50. But it's important to keep the pressure on. You've got to be in the race at 150 metres to give yourself a chance at a quality time.
Charlie Brennan is making a little bit of a push now as he comes back at Howard. Howard is still in front as he touches at the 150 mark, but his lead not quite as substantial as it was over Brennan. Beggs now has made his way beyond Gray in the pool, and although Howard is leading, his advantage is diminishing. That's a fairly substantial advantage though, with 25 metres to go in the pool.
Absolutely, yeah, he's led from the start, hasn't he? Fantastic underwaters. I've noticed his underwaters have been so much superior to the rest of the field, so he's definitely going to get a massive best time here. He's in on a 2:26.4. He's going to be just over 2:20. It looks like 2:22.77. Great swim for Ethan Howard.
What a swim from Beggs as well to come back into second. He was outside the top 4 initially and finds himself touching second. Swam a good, consistent race, did Beggs.
Yeah, 36.0 in the back end. So, you know, that was, if you compare to our winner, Ethan Howard, he was 37.7. And Daniel Beggs was a 36.0. So that just shows you his strength on the back end there.
To heat 10 of 13, Hooker, Monaghan, Davis, Killen, Lipscomb, French, Horgan, Harris, Fain and Petrauskas. So a few slightly older swimmers in the heats as we go up. The higher the heat number, the faster the swimmer is in terms of their seed time.
Absolutely, Dwayne, and you'll start to notice the difference between the younger and the older swimmers, even just in the strength and pulling themselves up out of the water and getting that decent start off there. We had a great start there from lane number 2, so he's just about half a stroke length ahead there. Lane number 2, Rory Davis.
It looked like Dominic French slipped on the wall, and he's left himself a fair amount of work to do. He's one of the fastest swimmers in the field at 2:23.
Absolutely, so he is about 2 body lengths behind now, one of our fastest entry times here in lane number 5. So he's got a good bit of ground here to make up. Hopefully with those underwaters he can really start to put the pressure on, but it does look like lane number 2 has really given himself a good head start there again, Rory Davis. Taking it nice and controlled actually here, so lovely stroke right there. Head is really steady as well. He's leaning on that lane rope, so he must have one side of the lane that he likes to kind of stick towards.
Rory Davis just being caught a little by Killen at the moment, and then Lipscomb is coming up on his outside as well. French still finds himself having a fair amount of work to do to catch up on the swimmers ahead of him, but I think it's going to be Killen who touches quickest. It is just ahead of Lipscomb, with Davis now third overall. 108.69 at the wall at the 100 metre mark in this 200 metre backstroke event.
Yeah, Lipscomb having a great second 50 there, touching around a 35-second mark for that second 50. So David spoke about it in the previous heat, where you don't want to turn off here for this third 50. If you switch down that speed too much, it's really difficult to try and gain it back. So yes, you want to conserve a little bit of energy, but not too much that you're going to have way too much for that last 50. So it does look like we do have a change in leader here. Lane number 3 going really strong, David Killen. Let's see what he can produce in this last 50.
So Killen off the wall first, the 36.95 and the 36.96 for Killen and Lipscomb, who are going effectively side by side. There's half a second separating them at the wall though. Who's strongest in the final 50? Coming up towards the final 25 metre mark, it looks like Lipscomb is just ahead of Killen at the moment, but it might come down to the stroke. Lipscomb looks to be pushing the pace in the closing 50. Rory Davis has fallen away at this stage, and coming up is Horgan in lane 6 as well. Looks like he might touch third quickest overall, but a fantastic battle developing that has been won by Lipscomb just ahead of Killen, with Horgan touching third quickest.
Absolutely, Andrew had a fantastic final 50 there, splitting on a 35.5. So David Killen splitting on that 37.32. They were very similar in regards to the distance that they were getting off the wall and their stroke rate as well, but Andrew clearly has worked a little bit harder on that pace work for that last 50 and being able to take 2 seconds faster on that last 50. So good swim there, Andrew.
To heat 11 of 13, Balgos, McGrath, O'Sullivan, Donnellan, Owen, Cassidy, Merrigan, Rudd, Lorden and Brahma.
The first of our seeded heats here, Dwayne. So we've got 208 in the middle, Neddy Irwin, National Centre Limerick. He goes out of lane 4, so he's got a 6 second lead on the rest of the field here.
Yeah, Neddy Irwin looks to be the swimmer to watch going in lane 4. Certainly his seed time at 2:08, significantly quicker than anybody else in this heat.
And just shown there by the underwater there, he just stayed under the 15. And you just know a good underwater swimmer when you see one. You know, just that really smooth transition from the underwater kick to the backstroke. So quite a high stroke rate here on this first 50.
High stroke rate, but look at the head. Slight bobbing, but he's keeping so still as he goes through the water. He's looking really, really good coming to the wall at the first 50, a 28.98 touch. It's nearly a full second ahead of Donnellan, who touches second.
Yeah, great underwater kick again. Just pulled away from the field. 8 kicks off the turn, so you'll not see maybe as many 200-metre backstrokes going to 15 metres on in the long course pool, just because it'll put you in oxygen debt unless you're super, super fit. You know, so sometimes it's not worth it, and you've got to try and work out exactly the sweet spot for the right amount of kicks to do, but he's flying here. Entered on a 2:08, he's through on a 60.7, that's moving. 31.7 on that 50, so he'll come back strong. No doubt he's going to win.
Cassidy's done nicely over that second 50 to get himself into contention for a place in the top 3 here. Cassidy's holding on to that second place at the moment, just battling against Donnellan, but Irwin is leading the way, and by some margin coming up towards the 150-metre mark.
Yeah, 20-year-old from National Centre Limerick, extending his lead even further. We'll see what he goes off this last turn. Sort of 4 or 5 kicks. Yeah, you see the fatigue does set in, so if he was to have gone 15 metres off that first turn, he'd be even more fatigued. So he'll power home here, and he'll be back for tonight's finals to go even faster, hopefully. So he'll be looking to get down around that 2:05 mark tonight.
So coming in fairly comfortably at the moment is Neddy Irwin, ahead of both Donnellan and Cassidy. Cassidy looks like he's only just got second place ahead of Donnellan at the moment, but you've got to focus on Irwin. It's been a very fine swim. He goes sub 2:10 with a 2:09.11. And then a 2:13.39 for Cassidy. He'll be happy with that. And Donnellan, his seed time at 2:16, comes in with a 2:13.
Yeah, good to get these swimmers down around their best times. Like India said earlier, you know, this is, for a lot of these age group swimmers, this is their last meet of the year, the last competition of the year. They want to finish on a high. And sometimes it's not always about coming first. It's about the personal battle to get a best time yourself.
Yep, very much about the personal achievements. Go to the penultimate heat in the men's 15 and over 200-metre backstroke. Yelnazov, Woolley, Watterson, Cuddy, Tolba, Chobot, O'Shea, Mathers, Mullen and Kozlauskas. Tolba of Hamilton, a very quick swimmer, 2:08 swimmer over this distance, the 16-year-old. He'll be going in lane 4. Just a little bit of a struggle for one of the swimmers, the ledge. So Tolba looking to get away to a really good start, the 16-year-old from Hamilton. He breaks water relatively early and comes up alongside Chobot, Artem Chobot. But he's not holding a significant advantage at the moment. And there's about 5 swimmers that are fairly level coming up towards the first wall.
Absolutely. So it looks like pretty much a level playing field coming into this first 50. I'm sure it's after this first turn we'll start to see who has worked a little bit more on that underwater work. So we had Artem taking probably the first position on that first 50, 30.88, but it is the Hamilton swimmer that has that stronger underwater kick, about 6 or 7 kicks there from the Hamilton swimmer coming up just slightly ahead. Hamilton have been having a great competition so far this weekend.
Well, certainly, and Talbot is looking to increase the success of Hamilton so far this weekend, but he's come away from the wall looking the most comfortable of the swimmers, but less than half a second separated the top 5 coming into the first turn, and now we're starting to see the advantage that Tolba has, extending his advantage now at 33.19 through that second 50, and now is over a full body length ahead of the next best swimmer on his outside, Chobot.
Absolutely, you can see the difference in splits there. So Tolba taking a 33.19 and then pretty much the rest of the field hitting around that 34 mark. He is looking strong. That stroke rate has definitely started to pick up coming down this third 50, so he's not switching off. lane number 5, not giving him too much distance away here, but it does look like we have our clear leader there, the Hamilton swimmer. Again, his split 33.67, so he's sticking very consistent with those splits throughout this 200 metres. Artem's the same as well, 34.60, so similar enough to his last split, but the Hamilton swimmer going to take it home here.
Yeah, this is a very good swim from the Titan swimmer Chobot, who finds himself holding on to Tolba and even battling here. He stayed within a body length of the Hamilton swimmer for much of this race. Cuddy as well looks decent just on the outside in lane 3 of Tolba, but Tolba is going to come to the wall first. But a very fine swim from Artem Chobot, the 16-year-old who finishes second.
Absolutely, Artem had a fantastic final split there, 33.15 to come back on that last 50, so definitely gained a good bit of ground. Maybe didn't turn on early enough, maybe could have taken it maybe 15 metres into that last turn and then given it a little bit more distance. He was only about half a body length behind Tolba there of Hamilton, but strong swim, just having a look at the times, entry times there, so a little bit slower for Tolba there, but Artem having just above his PB.
To the final heat of the men's 15 and over 200 metres. Killian Murphy down in 9, Somerville, Farron, Edgar, Zeren, Cousins, Cormican, Mullen, Newman and Byrne goes in lane 0. But the only 2:07 swimmer in this field, Emmett Cousins, the 17-year-old. He'll be going in 4. Gets off the wall nicely, goes lovely deep. First to break water though. Looks like Daniel Edgar, who's come up not quite in front, but it is Cousins at the moment who is leading. Looking to push himself almost half a body length in front of the man on his outside, Mehmet Zeren.
Yeah, I noticed Zeren there really pushed that 15 metres underwater. He was right on the mark. You know, he might have even been over. He literally, his head came up right at 15. So hard to call. You got to be careful pushing that underwater kicks. Only allowed 15 metres off the wall. For those of you at home that don't know, you're not allowed to go past 15 metres underwater off the turn on the start. If you go past 15 metres, you get disqualified.
David, what does this do for the younger swimmers who are watching some of the better swimmers in the pool right now? I mean, in terms of when you were younger, how does this influence your swimming going forward as a junior?
Massively. As a young swimmer, you look up at even swimmers that win these sort of competitions at an Irish level. On a world level, we have a few Irish swimmers that will compete at the top level. But even as a younger swimmer, even seeing the likes of, when I was younger, was the likes of Conor Leaney or Andrew Bree. You looked at those swimmers and you just wanted to be like them. You couldn't believe how easy they made the sport look. And swimming being so hard, so the amount of training you have to put in, it can sometimes be very unrewarding, but it's a big inspiration to have people to look up to.
So we only have a young lad, John Short. He's breaking multiple Irish junior and Irish senior records in the past couple of months. So going in the European juniors, 158.65, and then to go 2/100ths of a second just a couple of weeks later in Belgrade, so 158.63. He's absolutely phenomenal in this 200 metre backstroke event. Yeah,
John Short currently at the World Championships in Fukuoka in Japan. But the focus here is very much on the man in lane 4, Emmett Cousins, who's swimming a superb race. On his outside, Mehmet Zeren looking very comfortable for second place. Daniel Edgar is the man from Lisbon, is looking like coming home in third position. But what a swim from Cousins, at 2:07.46, pretty much on the seed time.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that'll give him top spot for tonight, maybe. I'm not sure about the swimmer in the last heat. Yeah, top spot for tonight. So that'll be a good race tonight. A few 2:07s, 2:08s. Try and get their hands on the wall. But of course, all the finals are split up into age groups. So depending on what age all these young athletes are, they'll be in their respective age categories. So might not be racing each other as per se. But good experience nonetheless.
Now to the women's 100 metre butterfly we go. And we'll begin with heat 5 of 12 in the preliminaries. O'Toole, Malkova, Hall, Fabian, Doherty, Burke, McCullough, McGrath, Bollard and Dowling, Omani. So just giving the swimmers a few opportunities at the start. 2 lengths of this pool. 100-meter butterfly. This was very much your sweet spot, India.
Absolutely, it's one of my favourite events to watch. It's really progressed over the past couple of years, in particular with Irish swimming. So only back when I was swimming now, I'll admit about 5 or 6 years ago now at this point, when I left swimming, but it was only just breaking the 60-second barrier about 5 or 6 years ago, and now we have the likes of Ellen Walsh going at 57.96. So to be down at that 57 mark within a few short years is absolutely incredible kind of transition in this 100-meter fly. So really, really strong swimming from Irish swimmers so far.
It must be incredibly pleasing to be able to watch it happen as throughout your career, and then to stop and to see what's going on in terms of progression in the pool since you left.
Absolutely. Some people, they kind of come to you and they're like, oh, are you upset that, your record might have been broken and those kind of questions, but you're absolutely not. You want to see swimming progress. So even the likes of kind of holding like relay records and that kind of thing, people are like, oh, your record's going to be broken this event, and it's like fantastic. It's lovely to see that Irish swimming is actually progressing in such an amazing way. And even just from going back to, say, 2008, when we only had 3 Irish swimmers going to the Olympics back in Beijing, to now having multiple kind of coming up into the, double digits going to international events. It's incredible to see Irish swimming progress and being kind of shown off on the main stage.
Yeah, absolutely. From some of the sprinters, I mean, Victoria Caddison to Dara Green, Danielle Hill is there, Max McCusker is over at the World Championships, Mona McSharry, obviously, she and Ellen Walsh, very, very familiar, Daniel Whiffen. But so much success in the pool for Ireland, and it is very pleasing to see a dozen odd swimmers going to the World Aquatics Championships.
Absolutely, and even to see something like a European record being set by Daniel Whiffen yesterday,
yes.
7:39, to drop another 4 seconds on that Irish senior record. I know, I'm not going to say he's disappointed, he's always the happiest boy I think I've ever seen on any sort of interview. I'm sure he would have loved to have gotten a medal on that world stage, but to get a 7:39 to break the European record, I'm sure that's just actually motivated him more to go back and be like, I want the medal next time.
But he's taken so many strides, and he's given Irish swimming so many plaudits as well, especially after his heroics in Stockholm.
Absolutely, and even people that know I'm involved in swimming but wouldn't really follow swimming as a sport, the amount of text messages I'll be getting saying, oh, Daniel Whiffen breaking another record, and it's actually making swimming a popular sport here in Ireland as well. Before we didn't have the likes of HBV kind of covering the footage and that kind of thing of Irish Open Championships, and now that it is becoming a more popular sport, it's an amazing thing to see.
We seem to have a problem with one of the touch pads here in the pool, so just getting that corrected before we get back underway. Something else I wanted to raise, this used to be Division 1, effectively, and it used to be stricter qualifying times. Is this a good improvement, the change? How do you feel about this?
Absolutely. So before we used to have something called Division 2s, we'd have Division 1s, and then we'd have the Irish Open. So I guess with having the fact that now we have an Irish Summer Championships, it does give some of the younger swimmers, maybe less experienced swimmers, to come and see some of the faster swimmers that we have in Ireland. I know this year in particular we have the World Championships, so we have the likes of EYOF, so we might not have a lot of our international swimmers competing at this event. So it is a little bit different, but I think in a way it's nice for some of these younger swimmers to come in, warm up with some of these international swimmers, see what they do from day to day, maybe gain a little bit of experience, gain a little bit of knowledge as well.
So touchpad is corrected, and we can get underway then in the women's 15 and over 100-meter butterfly. 2 lengths of this pool and up very, very quickly. Oh, completely lost her stroke, nearly lost her goggles going in lane 7. Looks like Lauren McGrath, the 16-year-old, very unfortunate. She came up, broke water really early, but then had an issue with her goggles before she got back into her stroke. Looking good at the moment, though, in lane 3. It looks to be Fabian who is leading the way.
Absolutely. I think it's lane number 2 there.
It's lane number
just
2.
Taking the lead there. So Amy Hall, she's touching well on a 32.25. So a lot of these swimmers, the first 50, they're going to be settling into some sort of breathing rhythm. So you're kind of be seeing breathing every 1, either 2 or every 3. It looks like Amy here is taking a 1 and 2 approach. She's got a good undulation there at the back, maybe a little bit too up and down. Probably should use a little bit more of that leg drive to shoot herself forward. But she is the clear leader here, about half a body length ahead of some of the other lanes.
So 1:14.95 seed time for Amy Hall. She's looking really strong in the pool here. Coming into the wall, looks like she's going to knock a good couple of seconds off that seed time. And to the touchpad in 1:10.57. That's really quick. Malkova touches second and Burke third overall. Fabian just out of the top 3.
Absolutely, looked like a gutsy swim there from Amy Hall. Looked like she was a little bit tired coming into that last 5 metres, but that's what I love to see on a 100-metre butterfly. It is only 2 lengths, I know it's a very difficult stroke, but she did go out strong there, 32.96. You can kind of see from that second 50 split, maybe a little bit higher, so just needs to work kind of maybe on that last 10 metres, but strong swim there for Amy.
So we have a couple of DNSs in this next preliminary. It looks like Ellie Falls and Cara McKenna are not in the pool, but Sophia O'Neill got off to a really good start. Good reaction time from Sophia O'Neill, going nicely in lane 2. It looks like Isabella Kavanagh, and then alongside her Amy Russell as well, going in lane 3.
So it looks like lane 2 and lane 3 just slightly taking the lead there. Unusual stroke, so definitely putting their head down, a little bit delayed there. So usually what you want to see is that before the arms reach past the ears, that the head is back in the water. So lane number 2, just slight delay on that, putting that head back down. But it is lane number 7 that takes the touch, 33.12. That's Serica Brennan of Tuam. She's looking strong here, so breathing she has a mix-up stroke there actually, breathing 1 and 2 and then 1 and 1.
Yeah, it looks like Shelby Newsom as well, breathing on every stroke as she comes up, but at the time, out in lane 7 is where the action is taking place, as Sorcha Brennan has just turned and belted it down the back. Sorcha Brennan.
It looks like Kathy McCabe might
It looks like McCabe, is he going to take over? Yes. It's McCabe who touches quickest. So much of the action in the early 50 taking place in the near side lanes.
That was a very strong swim there from Kathy McCabe, only going out on a 33 high, and to come back on a 37 was very gutsy swim, very strong, and she really looked like she had another couple of metres in her there in the last 10 metres, but strong swim from Kathy.
So to heat 7 of 12, Marriott, Wilson, Brown, Highland, Gleeson, Joyce, Dickens, Jess, O'Donoghue and Nita. Not a great reaction time from Laura Greason, going in lane 4. The 21-year-old, the senior swimmer in this field, as it were. There are a couple of 15-year-olds in the field, but at 21, Laura Gleeson, the oldest, and looking to take the win as well. She's a 1:11 swimmer over this distance. Amelia Joyce looks decent, going in lane 5 as well. And so too does Alison Highland.
You see Laura Gleeson there, very typical Earl McCarthy stroke. So Earl McCarthy, head coach at UCD, teaches breathing to the side actually on butterfly. So Laura Gleeson trying to activate that stroke here. So again, a little bit slower off the takeoff. It does look like lane number 5 is taking the lead there. The Shark swimmer 32.67, Amelia Joyce. She's looking very strong here. 1:11.6 is the fastest entry time. So that split time, they should be able to come back below that 1:10 mark. But let's see what they do in this last 25 metres.
25 odd metres to go, as you say, and she's keeping up the pace, it looks like, is Amelia Joyce going in lane 5. Watch out for Laura Gleeson going in 4. Is she going to touch second? Well, Emily Dickens still looks decent going in lane 6 as well, but it is going to be a sub 1:10, a 1:09.96 at the wall for Amelia Joyce, ahead of Brown, Dickens third.
Yeah, it's a great barrier to break there in the 100-metre fly, to be able to go below that 1:10. So to break it by 4/100ths of a second, it's a strong swim from Amelia Joyce of Sharks. Again, Emily Dickens, sorry, not Emily Dickens, we're talking about Laura Gleeson. Laura Gleeson, interesting stroke there, breathing to the side. Slow reaction time from a UCD swimmer. I know Earl McCarthy spends about 6 months per swimmer working on reaction time, so I'm sure that'll be something she'll work on.
To heat 8 of 12, Burns, Yelverton, Edgar, Swinburne, O'Sullivan, Lee, Lyons, Salai and Ledgerwood. Nobody going in lane 9 for this swim. 10 lanes in an Olympic-sized pool. It's 50 metres in length, 25 metres wide, 2.5 metres across are each of the lanes. As it looks to be a fairly heady start for Swinburne, the Dolphin swimmer.
Yeah, Ruby Swinburne, she's got a strong start here coming down this first 50. Don't think she's using the leg kick as well as she possibly could be. So a lot of people will look at the butterfly stroke and think it's very front heavy and that you have to use a lot of pull under the water, but it's actually from the undulation from the hips that you're going to get a lot of that drive. And you can see that from lane number 5 really. So Ellen Lee, she's really just starting to push down with those hips, pushing the chest down into the water to get those hips up nice and high. And you can see that advantage that she has, gaining a little bit of ground on Emily here in lane number 3.
Yeah, this is a battle between Ellen Lee and Ruby Swinburne, and it looks like it's going to be Swinburne who's going to take it. Swinburne looked good at the opening 50, but she's come back really strong, just fading in the final stages is Ellen Lee, who touches third quickest. Mero Sullivan finishes second.
Absolutely, I think that's a strong swim there from Ruby, a 108.29, so breaking that 110 barrier. Again, when you're looking at butterfly, there's actually 2 kicks for the butterfly stroke, not just the one, so I think Ruby can definitely improve on that second kick, and I think she'd definitely be able to improve on that 108 as well.
To heat 9 of 12, Brick, Lidan, Marriage, Cochran, Matthias, O'Hara, Kelly, McKernan, McGrath, Bentley. Breaking water out in lane 9, Hazel Bentley. Looks to be Izzy McGrath rather, who broke the water earliest, but in the near side lanes as well, there looks to be a great deal of action with Brick, Lidan, Marriage alongside one another. Looking good coming up to the first 50.
Absolutely, lane 0 and lane 1 taking it out strong on this first 50. I think it's lane 0 that's going to take the touch. It is Molly O'Brick, 31.26. She has got Liana Ledan. She's just come out of the race before this as well. I think this is their second race of the morning, so fair play to Liana as well. But pretty much an even playing field here. Again, you can always tie up on that last 15 metres, but it does look like our outside lane there, Izzy McGrath, Sunday as well, looks like she's taking a strong second half to this swim.
Izzy McGrath certainly looks like she's pushing the pace out in lane 8. She is really pushing to the wall, looking to see if she can get there ahead of Marriage, and it is McGrath who touches just ahead of Marriage. Lidan third, Cochran fourth, and O'Brick, who touched first at the 50-metre mark, finishes fifth.
Absolutely, so again another strong split there from Izzy McGrath, kind of going out in a 32 high and to come back in a 35.7. The decent time there for the Sunday's well swimmer.
To heat 10 of 12, Phillips, Bailey, Poynton, Paisley, Stemp, O'Shea, Kirsilova, Kelly, Jameson and Hand.
Dwayne, so we're on the first of our seeded heats. That means our third fastest swimmer into this event is swimming in lane number 4. That's Abigail Stemp. She has an entry time of 104.41, so she's going to be looking to go out at least on a 30 mid if she wants to be breaking that 104 barrier.
And she's having a little bit of a battle on her hands here with Tallulah Paisley going very strong on her outside, but it looks like Stemp who is taking it first to the 50.
Yeah, 30.16. That's a strong start there from Abigail. She's got a lovely undulation here on her fly. Her heels are pretty much just staying level with the water, so she's really driving herself forward on every single stroke, breathing with her chin just breaking the surface of the water. So very much like Michael Phelps, literally just shooting that face forward. Very nice stroke, Abigail.
Hannah O'Shea going in lane 5 very nicely as well. Paisley falling just a little behind now. And a little bit of work being done by Tony Jameson in the outside lanes, but Stemp is leading the way and she's going to touch first. It's just a matter of what time. Outside of 105, a 105.78 for Abigail Stemp, the first of the seeded swimmers, comfortably in 105.78.
Yeah, I think a slower second 50 there. She went out on a 30.18. Maybe it was just a little bit too fast for her. I was looking for maybe a 30 mid if she wanted to break that 104 barrier. So maybe she just tied up a little kind of coming into that second 50. But we'll move on to our penultimate heat now, where our fastest qualifier is a 103.
103, Grace Conroy will go in lane 4. It's Winterbach, Fane, Logan, Aiken, Conroy, Donegan, Malloy, McCaw, McCabrey and Doherty in this penultimate heat in the women's 100-metre fly.
Strong underwater work there from Grace Conroy, hitting the 15-metre mark exactly, so hands breaking out just at that 15-metre mark. But it does look like that lane number 3 is really gaining a good bit of ground there. Kira Aiken, she's had a fantastic swim meet so far.
Kira Aitken is taking it very fast to the wall. In fact, there's not much separating Logan Aiken and Conroy as they reach the wall. But Fane as well is looking strong. Malloy. Wow.
Absolutely, 30.46 Heather Fane. We've actually had a lot of outliers coming in from the outside lanes that are starting to take the lead here on some of these swims, but it does look like that lane number 6 maybe is gaining a bit of ground. Lane number 4, lane number 3 could be anyone's race here in this last 15 metres.
Malloy is looking very strong. Going in lane 6, it doesn't look like Conroy is going to be touching the wall first unless she has something special at the wall and can perhaps touch on the stroke. But this battle is going to be down to Malloy, ahead of Conroy, with McCaw third.
Yeah,
What
pretty
a
much
swim.
just hitting her seeded time there. Hannah Malloy, 106.3, entered in on a 106.3 for her prelim time. So strong swim from Hannah. We're moving on to one more heat of this event, so I'm sure some of these girls will be looking for a final swim as well.
The final heat of the women's 15 and over 100 meter butterfly. Brown, Bailey, Mulhall, Witten, Simchi, Simeons, Bailey, Mulhall, Allen and Ivory.
Yes, we have the likes of Kellyanne Brown. She's a strong 200 metre butterfly. She takes one of the outside lanes. She's one of our NAC swimmers. Her entry time of 108.1. She did look strong in the Irish Open back in April, so it'll be interesting to see how Kelly can take that first 100 today.
Onto the starters blocks. An explosive start from Sharon Semchu going in lane 4, but in the water she's not come up in front. Instead it looks to be Pippa Mulhall who's leading the way, the Trojan swimmer.
Alba Mulhall having a strong start. Same with Rosie Witten. I think she may be just on her breakout taking one less kick because her breakout was just a little bit too high in the water there, but it does look like lane number 4 might just take this touch on the first 50. It is. It's Sharon Semchi, 30.25. Again, her entry time of 103.6, so she'll have a decent bit of work on this second 50 if she wants to be breaking that barrier.
0.3 of a second separating the top 5 over the first 50. This is a very strong race, and at the moment it is coming down to the centre lanes. A little bit of a battle between Semchi and Simeons here, who are pushing it to the wall. They're almost alternating in terms of strokes, but it's just looking to be Sharon Semchi who is pulling away now in the closing final meters, and she's going to come to the wall first. A little bit of a glide to the wall for Simeons as she touches second at 105.40, 105.01 for Semchi, touches quickest.
Absolutely, it was a good battle there between Sharon and Emily for that second 50. I think Sharon just having a little bit more of an up and down stroke. She might have just been tying up on that last 50 metres, but looks like we might have a decent race coming in the women's 100 metre fly. Fastest qualifier going to be a 105, and then pretty much everyone else is sticking around that 106 mark.
So we head back to a few of the sprints now. The men's 15 and over, 50 metre freestyle. We've got 35 heats with, we'll pick up though, heat 26 of 35. So, Woolley, Middleton, Streltsov, Van der Beek, Morris, Wilmot, Bradley, McAteer, Van Rensburg and Rocket.
Looking forward to this one, Dwayne.
Certainly you are. This is very much your sweet spot.
Yeah, this was my event. Yeah, so best event in the sport, this one.
Best event in the sport, says David Thompson, who was very much a sprint freestyler.
Biased, I'm biased, but
of course, completely unbiased, non-partisan view from a man who retired less than a year ago. You're missing being in the pool?
I don't really miss the training, being honest. I miss racing. I miss racing and competitions like this. You know, you miss the buzz of competition, but not so much the early mornings.
It's starting out a very fine broadcasting career, David Thompson. So trying to bring you the action live, courtesy of HBV Studios. Men's 50 metre freestyle, 15 and over, getting underway with this heat 26 of 35. And Charlie Morris, 26.14, he and Mikey Wilmot in lane 5 going alongside one another. But watch out for the outside lanes here from Rensburg and Rocket. Rocket living up to his name. He is swimming very quickly out in lane 9. Can he get to the wall first? A little bit of a comeback though from this lane just inside him. It looks like Rocket is going to touch ahead of Bradley, who is finishing very strongly. Eamon Bradley touches second, but Mark Rocket holding on from lane 9.
Yeah, great swim. He was just that lovely straight arm stroke the whole way down. You'll see a lot of swimmers, especially as they get to the faster swimmers, they'll not have that bent elbow stroke. They'll have a straight arm stroke. 50 free isn't so much about efficiency as it is about just getting the arms over and getting the rate up. You can't win the 50 freestyle with a low rate. We're not all Alexander Popov.
Oh, going back now, memories. Nobody in lane 6. O'Grady, Velik, McGinley, McMullen, Smith, Henson. McCann goes in 7, Eller, and then Slachter goes in 9. And going very strongly is Michael McCann, the 18-year-old in lane 7. Michael McCann is leading by a good half a meter at the moment, and it looks like he is going to roar his way to the wall first. There's some decent finishing coming in lanes 1 and 2 at the moment, but Velik and McGinley are a little out of it. Eller touches second, but McCann led from start to finish. Great race from lane 7.
Yeah, good swim, 25 flat. You know, just off that 24 sort of margin that he would have probably maybe been looking for, but you got to limit the breathing on this 50 freestyle. You know, when I used to swim it, and all sort of top guys at World Championships you'll see in a few days, they don't breathe at all. They won't take one breath. So
Roland Skuman, he would go through the 50 without taking a breath.
Yeah, everyone does now. Yeah, I think he was one of the first to really do it.
Yeah. Still swimming.
Yeah, he's World Championships.
40s,
yeah,
World
43, is he?
It? Yeah. Heat 28 of 35. Pinto, Galland, Ryan, O'Sullivan, O'Neill, McLeod, George, Woolley, Harvey, Cardwell.
The start's so important here. So important to give yourself a chance. Well, looks like lane number 5 to win.
Yeah, McLeod looks like he got off to a really good start, and he's making it count as he breaks the water and is into his stroke very quickly, and he's just pulling away from the remainder of the field. While they're nearly level behind him, it is McLeod who is leading the way, and he's going to hit the wall 24:49. That's a very quick time, and he is significantly down on his seed time, almost a second and a half down.
Yeah, 24:4. That was a very impressive swim from the ESB swimmer. That's India's old club. Real just eating up the water in that last 20, 25 metres, just not slipping the water. So important in the last 10, 15 metres, if to not try and overspin the wheels. You still got to stay relaxed, and you've got to hold on to that water. Very hard to do on a 50 free.
Heat 29 of 35. We'll see Keogh, Power, Toomey, Green, Edgar, Trader, Moen, Flynn, Wong, and Maguire. Looking for that explosive start off the starters blocks, going very nicely in lane 4. Daniel Edgar got a really good start, but it looks like in lane 6 Matthew Moen who's leading the way, and then alongside him at the moment in his stroke Jamie Flynn is looking very strong as well. Jamie Flynn is leading the way, maybe by half a swim cap initially, but he's pulling away towards the wall. Is it going to be Flynn at the wall who touches first? A little bit of a glide, but 25:10 touches ahead of Moen.
Yeah, good swim, Flynn. See how he had a bit of a glide. I think his finish was almost perfect. Sometimes you want to glide like that. If he took another stroke, he'd have just finished on a half stroke. So sometimes those swimmers are going at such a speed. Sometimes a glide like that is not always the worst. A great swimmer, Cesar Cielo, he was the world record holder for a long time.
Still, yes,
from Brazil.
2009.
Still, he did that. If you look at that race, he glides into the wall. It looks like he almost stops, but he held his speed really, really well.
That's right. 18th of December 2009 at the Brazilian Championships in São Paulo. Cesar Cielo still with that world record from 2009. 2091.
20.91. Insane.
So in lane 30, it's just Marty, Riddle, Fagan, Griffin, Cox, Byrne, Holmes, Neeland, Lawrence and Mason. And at the moment it looks to be Neeland going in lane 7 who is strongest. Decent looking swim as well from Riddle in lane 1, and he's closing very quickly, but can he close near? Oh no, just falling away in the closing stages, but going in lane 7. Christian Noland is quickest over the 50 meters here, 24:97, another swimmer below 25 seconds.
Yeah, good swim. Is there underwater jets in lane 7? Every winner's coming from lane 7. What's going on here?
Yeah.
I might get down and get in lane 7 here.
The outside
They're all
lanes.
flying.
Would you like to see yourself in lane 7 at the moment?
Well, at the minute, though, there seems to be a bit of a...
I can tell you that coming up in this heat, Barry Murphy will be going in lane 7. I'm just saying. Barry Murphy, how old is he now? 102? 38. 38.
London 2012 Olympian. in the 100-meter breaststroke. But he was the old Irish record holder in this from 2009. He was
right.
a 22-1 before Tom Fannin broke that only a few months ago here in a 21-9. So Murphy was the premium Irish sprinter in history.
We'll chat about Murphy in a few moments. This is heat 31 of 35. We've got Breen, O'Connor, Mulholland, Roche, McHenry, Hui, Taggart, Leggett, Cummings, Bremer and Marr who go in this heat. 35 heats in the preliminaries to go through. And Mulholland is a DNS, but going very nicely in lane 7. Somewhat surprisingly here is Benji Cummings. Benji Cummings not quite being caught by David Leggett on his inside, but Benji Cummings is going very strongly, and the fight back from Leggett might just be, no, not quite enough. Marr also a very strong swim in line, but Benji Cummings from lane 7 goes sub 25.
Yeah, great swim, Benji Cummings, the Irish swimmer, coached by Curtis Coulter, the ex-international freestyler. Curtis Coulter, the Irish junior record holder in this event, so that's his coach. So no wonder Benji Cummings is getting down in those 24 high margin. Fantastic swim from him. Moving straight on. I'm telling you, lane 7's the lane to be in here, folks.
So to heat 32 of 35 we go. Rynn, Cassidy, Harvey, Mulhall, Smith, Shaw, Shoki, Ryan, Switzer and Morgan. Shoki, a very young swimmer, but another one of the Hamilton swimmers, the just 15-year-old, a 24.94 swimmer at his best. So very much a sub-25 second swimmer. Shoki's got off to a very good start going in lane 6, but alongside him in lane 7, a little bit of a fight coming from Ali Ryan. But Shoki is leading the way come lane 6 to lane 7. Ali Ryan is pushing the pace. Ryan might have it on the stroke here. Are we going to see another winner from lane 7? We do indeed. Ali Ryan catches it on the stroke. It was beautifully timed, and Shoki finishes second. Both go substantially sub 25. 24.25 winning time for Ryan.
Yeah, that cool man swimmer there, he had that lovely straight arm stroke right over the top, almost locking out the elbows, whereas the swimmer Shoki beside him had more of a bent elbow stroke. So you saw two different kinds of freestyle you can have, both very similar times, but the magic of lane 7 got him the touch there.
Heat 33 of 35, Kennedy, Colgan, Fitzmaurice, Fitzgerald, Leggett, Regist, Dunyan, O'Loughlin Brophy and Winston going in 9. No swimmer in lane 8. And watch out for lane 7, O'Loughlin Brophy. This time though, doesn't get off to the best of starts in the centre lanes. Leggett and Regist alongside one another. Lanes 4 and 5 are just pulling away from the rest of the field at the moment. Who's going to touch first? It looks like it's going to be Regis who touches first ahead of Leggett. 23.59. The first swimmers under 24 seconds in the pool here today.
Yeah, Dylan Regis, a really fantastic 50-meter freestyle. He went to the European Junior Championships there only a few weeks ago. You know, so I think he went for the 50-meter freestyle. I may be wrong, but you know, great speed, great twitch in that front.
Lane number 7, Barry Murphy is making a comeback at the age of 38. He will go in 7. Berryman, McGeever, McCorby, Kinchlow, Walsh-Hussey, Sutton, Mahmoutoglu, Murphy, Noonan and O'Brien is how they go. Very much the experience behind him, the Olympian from London in 2012, Barry Murphy. Looking to go strong from lane 7, but Jason Mamutolu is going very well in lane number 6. Murphy is coming back at him though. His experience perhaps is showing, but Mamutolu is holding on for the time being in lane 6. Mamutoglu, and now a fast finish from Sutton. Who's going to touch first? Is Mamutoglu ahead of Murphy, ahead of Sutton, who were closing fastest.
Yeah, 23.8 for Murphy. Not bad, eh?
Not bad.
First meet back after, I don't know, I think he retired in 2014, so almost 9 years.
Yeah.
Doing an Anthony Irvin coming back after 9 years. But Callum Bain, the one to watch in this next one. Supreme starter. Unbelievable.
Very much.
Watch him to 15.
Narrowly missed out on World Championships. And now based in Dublin after moving back from Stirling. So it's great to see Callum Bain back in Ireland. So Zeren, Cundill, Winston, Powell, Bain, Tebbit, McKinnon, Morgan, Kay and Mason. Callum Bain very much the swimmer to watch going in 4 and got off to a very good start, and by the time he breaks the water he's half a body length in front. Coming up to 25 metres, he's nearly a full body length in front at the moment. Callum Bain, the swimmer who narrowly missed out on World Championships, might be making a push to prove a point at these championships. Callum Bain is going to come through in the quickest time by some margin. The scoreboard might have gone, but it's a very quick time, I assure you.
Yeah, he looked really good. Just that last, I'm not sure the time hasn't came up, just that last 10 or so meters. I think he was beginning to slow. Where's the time?
We seem to have an issue with the scoreboard.
That'll be a 22 mid to low.
But
so
yeah, that was by far the quickest of the heats.
see the speed he has, that first 35, it's just scary.
It is half a body length in front by the time he broke water, and by the time he hit the 25 meter mark, a full body length in front of anybody else in the pool.
I'll tell you, Dwayne, I used to race him and it was just demoralising to be that far behind after 15 metres. Always ran out of pool, never managed to beat him really.
They've been
Sorry, Murphy, you can come back, David.
Yeah, well,
Give it a go.
Yeah, David
I'm having too
Thompson.
much fun up here.
2029, the comeback by David Thompson.
You never know.
Callum Bain, yeah. Very unfortunate to miss out on the World Championship place, but as I say, good to see him back here. There's some fantastic swims he's had over the years. Evan Bailey as well. But the men's 50 metre free could very much be Callum Bain's race. We're going to be moving on to the women's 200 metre IM next. But we do have a problem with the scoreboard at the moment. The time's not popping up.
We had a fantastic swim from Ellen Walsh over in Japan in the 200 IM recently, so going from a 2:12, that Irish senior record, right down to a 2:10.92 to get her Olympic qualifying time.
I think this is very much a race where Molly Main is going to be the swimmer to beat ultimately in these heats, but starting off with heat 8 of 13, Lannon, Joyce, McInerney, Nolan, Markey, Dempsey, Nolan, O'Dwyer, Russell and Graham. So starting off with the butterfly, and at the moment it looks to be going in lane 0. Izzy Lannon looking really strong, so too in lane 5, Alicia Dempsey.
Absolutely. When it comes to the 200 IM, you need to have a strong first 50, so you don't want to be going out too hard, but we've spoken about before that easy speed, so not trying to tense up too much, but do take it out good and hard so you're getting into that clear water before you move onto the back roll leg. It is the breaststroke leg that usually dominates the field here when it comes to the IM, so you'll definitely see the clear winner when it comes onto the breaststroke leg, but they don't want to switch off now when it comes to this back roll, so keeping the head steady, really rotating and keeping that stroke rate nice and high. It's a very different event to the 400 IM that we had yesterday. 400 IM is definitely more of an endurance event. This is just 50 metres of each stroke, so they want to be pushing it on each 50.
So Dempsey looks like she's still holding on, not by much from O'Dwyer. Nolan just squeezed in between them. O'Dwyer might be in front at the moment, just pushing nicely in this backstroke leg. Coming up to the 100 metre mark in the 200 individual medley. Into the breaststroke leg they will go now, and this is generally where the swimmers get separated. The breaststroke leg is so often the decider for the IM races.
Absolutely. There's only about a second separating the field coming into that first 100 metres. So again, Dwayne, like you said, it's this breaststroke leg that you're going to see who's going to dominate the field. So again, using that leg drive from behind, breaststroke is very much a leg dominated stroke. So 60 or 70% of the power is coming from their legs. And it does look like lane number 1
Joyce,
has got that very strong breaststroke leg here. So if she can maintain that power coming into this third 50, all she needs to do is turn and put her head down and get that last 50 done.
Lovely long pull, engage the lats. Beautiful breaststroke from Joyce going in lane 1. She'll turn first, and the shark swimmer looks like she's going to be bringing it home. 1:58.06 at the wall. She's the only swimmer under 2 minutes through the first 3 legs of this race, and she should be able to hold on in the freestyle leg. Emilia Joyce, 16-year-old, 2:38.98 seed time.
Absolutely. 200 IM is still a grueling event. I'm sure the lungs are burning now and the lactic acid is definitely building up the muscles. But we want to see a nice strong leg kick from these girls so they finish this last 25 but it is Amelia Joyce from the shark swimmer that looks like she's going to take this first heat of the morning swim in the 200 meter RIM. Again, her entry time 2:38. Looks like she's going to break that here. 2:35 dead for Amelia Joyce.
What a swim. Fantastic swim from Joyce. She goes well below her seed time. The shark swimmer first to touch. 2:35 swimming from lane 1. O'Dwyer finishing 4th in the end. To the next heat we go. Heat 9 of 13. Henry, Dorgan, Marr, McMaster, Sadurainagi, Doyle, Dunn, Hartnett, Ryan and Harrington. The Harrington, a DNS from lane 9. But into the fly leg, the opening 50 meters. So it's 50 meters in each of the strokes. Fly, then back, then breast, then freestyle to finish, or the front crawl technically. As it looks to be in lane 1, Saoirse Dorgan, who is looking best in the first 50 meters. That's in the fly stroke.
Yeah, definitely had a bit of a dodgy turn there. Finished on kind of a half stroke, but still touched first there in a 32.36. The backstroke part of this 200 meters individual medley is all about keeping that momentum and speed going. It's so easy to switch off before the breaststroke because you've got the thought of that breaststroke and freestyle coming up, especially on the breaststroke. And maybe if it's not your strong suit, you know, you'll want to save energy for it, but it's so important to not lose ground on the backstroke leg. The 200 medleys are all over the place tactically because you're pretty much just sprinting 450s in a row. So many different energy systems and skills to be aware of.
Yeah, very difficult to be able to properly plan and play out effectively. Marr is leading from Dunn, from Doyle, from Henry. Sadurainagi is 5th fastest overall, 3 odd seconds separating the top 5. But it is the swimmer going in lane 2, Cara Marr, who is leading the way at the moment. It's a bit of a battle on for second place at the moment. Sadurainagi and Kiva Doyle look to be having a tremendous battle, but the breaststroke is certainly again separating the swimmers, and it looks to be Marr who will take it home comfortably.
Yeah, looked really strong on that breaststroke leg. On the freestyle now, you've got to just go to your legs. You have to go to your legs. You'll see in lane number 4 there in comparison to our leader in lane number 2. Lane number 4, that's Sadurainagi. Her legs are going considerably more than our current leader in lane number 2. Oh, sorry, not lane number 2, lane number... Yes, lane number 2, sorry.
Marr in 2. She's being caught at the moment as both Sadurainagi and Doyle are coming back at her.
It's all that leg kick, Dwayne, I'm telling you.
Doyle is showing tremendous strength in the final 50 here, and Doyle looks like she's going to get there ahead of any of the other swimmers. Kiva Doyle ahead of Sadurainagi, who had a tremendous breaststroke leg, and Marr, who led after 150 meters, finishes 3rd.
Yeah, the harder you kick your legs on that back 50, the more your arms will want to join in and join the party. If your legs aren't going, your arms, it's so difficult to get your arms going. India will know that. So it's all leg kick on that back. In any freestyle race on the back end, it's all about your legs.
Lund, Malloy, Mulhall, Murphy, Cochran, Matthias, O'Shea, Hand, Walsh, Minto. This is heat 10 of 13 in the women's 15 and over 200 meter individual medley. There's not much separating the swimmers in the 50 meter free as they come up toward the 25 meter mark. But it does look like she has just a little bit of an edge. Does Mulhall going in lane 2.
Yeah,
and Glowing in 1. Malloy is coming up very nicely.
Yeah, Hannah Malloy, she just had a strong 100 metres, so we know that she's going to have a strong 50 metres at the start of this 200 metre IM. So turning there in a 30.96, that's a very strong start for another 350s to go. So again, like David said, she needs to turn onto this back roll leg now and not switch off. I know myself when I did a 200 IM back roll, I just lost concentration when I started looking at the ceiling. So as long as these girls just do stay with that speed. But she's looking strong. A little bit more rotation through the shoulders would be nice on that back row leg. Does look like we have lane number 2 just catching a little bit of ground. She's got a very nice strong catch, especially pushing that water past her hips. So again, it'll be this breaststroke leg to see who's going to separate from this field.
Poppy Mathias going in lane 5 as well, has shown a fine backstroke leg and touches 5th overall. Minto ahead of Mulhall and Malloy. Murphy 4th fastest overall going in lane 3. But into the breaststroke leg now, and this is where things will get interesting. We'll see which of the swimmers can put themselves into pole position to take the win, coming home with the final 50-meter freestyle, where going in lane 2, Mulhall looking really strong, but so too is Poppy Mathias in lane 5.
Absolutely. In lane number 3, definitely gaining a good bit of ground there. Shauna Murphy, the dolphin swimmer, she's just quite about half a body length coming into this breaststroke leg. You'll see a variety of different breaststrokes actually here. You have some with very much a wedge kick, you've got some with that wider kick and shooting themselves forward into that streamlined position. But it does look like lane number 5, Poppy, has taken the turn. So again, like David said, just really needs to kick down on that back end of this front crawl leg.
This is a punishing race. You are sprinting in all 4 of the disciplines, fly, back, breast, and then in the freestyle to come home. And Poppy Mathias is taking it home very nicely. Mulhall is still holding on, and a very fast freestyle leg from out wide from Minto means that she's positioned currently in 2nd place. She touches 2nd from lane 9, Mulhall 3rd, but Poppy Mathias quickest from lane 5. 2:32.24.
Yeah, nice swim there from Abigail Minto as well. It's not easy to go out from that outside lane and not have much competition around her, but she swam her own race as well and came back strong to take the 2nd position.
Heat 11 of 13, Chamberlain, Friel, Bailey, O'Shea, Jones, Sulla, Brown, Doherty, Donegan and Campbell. 11 of 13 heats now for the women's 15 and over 200 meter individual medley. And going in lane 3, Hannah O'Shea, the dolphin swimmer, looking strongest initially, but she's just being held onto here by Eva Bailey going in 2.
Yeah, absolutely. None of these swimmers really stayed underwater for that long off the start. You know, they all came up at about 10 metres or so, something like that. Settling into their fly stroke very early. It is O'Shea. 31-0, closely from Bailey, from Jones. The yellow hats there in the middle, bottom of the pool. So, expect the time to drop significantly here. This is the first of our seeded heats. We have Megan Jones, our fastest in here on a 2:25.1. But she's a bit back at the minute, so, but as we've seen in the last heats, a lot can change on this medley. So many different strokes, different tactics. And watching from up here, we don't know which stroke is each swimmer's strength, so it makes it fascinating to watch.
Megan Jones looking to come back in the breaststroke. She touches 5th fastest overall at 1:11.96 through the first 100 meters. But what does she do in the breaststroke leg? At the moment, though, it's a decent looking lead from Hannah O'Shea, who's looking to hold on to her advantage here. Going in lane 7, though, is a very good breaststroke from Clara Doherty. She's just falling back, and maybe a little bit of lactic acid build-up for Doherty as well.
Yeah, the lactic acid is huge on a 200 metres individual medley. But like I said in the previous heat, you know, you're almost sprinting every single 50. It's so different to the other 200 strokes. You got to be so fit. You have to be fitter for the 200 medley than you do for any of the other 200 individual strokes. So you will see people drop off, swimmers drop off, lactic acid kick in, but O'Shea's hanging on really well. Look at the leg kick here.
O'Shea holding on from Doherty, and Salah currently in 3rd at the moment.
Yeah, she looks great. Keeping a real low head position, breathing every 3, keeping the stroke nice and balanced. You know, legs just constantly going, not stopping.
O'Shea is not going to get caught here. Salah is falling back in this freestyle leg, but O'Shea is being caught by Bailey amongst others. O'Shea touches just ahead of Bailey, ahead of Doherty. Friel 4th fastest overall. And Jones and Salah fell away badly in the freestyle coming home.
Good bit outside their best. They won't be pleased with that, but that's swimming, that's sport. You don't get it right every time.
The penultimate heat of 13, Walker, Fain, Bentley, Putney, Trait, Doran, Aiken, Austin Burrows, Noble and Allende. Naomi Trait going in lane 4, the UCD swimmer, 2:24.98 at her best. She's gone off fairly comfortably and looking really good in the opening 25 meters in the freestyle leg. But also looking strong is Heather Fain going in lane 1.
Absolutely strong start there from Naomi Trait. Again, another Earl McCarthy UCD swimmer breathing to the side on that butterfly. So definitely a signature stroke from the UCD swimmers, but she's using it well. She's staying down nice and low to the water and turning on a 30.7. So that looked like a comfortable start for Naomi Trait. Oh, that's Heather Fain actually taking 30.7. Naomi Trait just 8/100ths of a second, just slightly behind her, but looking comfortable for both girls here. So again, moving on to the back row leg. It is about keeping that leg kick up, head staying nice and steady. And it looks like Naomi Trait, or actually lane number 1, Heather Fain, still holding that lead.
Aoife Doran coming back now in the backstroke leg, and Aoife Doran going in lane 5 looks to be the strongest. Trait is being caught by Putney as well. Neve Putney and Aoife Doran has certainly gone past her. Doran looks to be the quickest through the opening 100 meters, and that's a very fine backstroke leg from Doran ahead of Trait. Fain touches third quickest.
Absolutely. Aoife Doran had a very strong 200-meter backstroke yesterday in the 200-meter backroll final, so we knew she was going to be strong coming into that 50-meter backstroke leg. So again, it is going to be this breaststroke leg to see who's going to dominate the field, but Aoife still holding her pace strong. We do have Neve Putney, though, of ours, gaining a little bit of ground. She's got a lovely drive coming from that leg, gliding. I'd like to see her head dive down a little bit more into those arms. Maybe keep her hands together on that breaststroke leg, but she is gaining a good bit of ground.
Putney is looking strong in lane 3. She is making a bit of a comeback here in the breaststroke leg. She will touch, I think, second just behind Doran. She does indeed. Now into the final 50. Just the freestyle leg to come. And there's not a great deal separating the top swimmers here. Doran, Putney, Fain as well is still not completely out of it. And you can't discount Kira Aitken going in lane 6, who made a good bit of ground up in the breaststroke leg.
Definitely, you can see Aoife Doran's definitely slowed down on that stroke rate, so she's taking a long, strong approach, but Putney is definitely picking up the stroke rate. I think Naomi Trait might just take this heat, though. She's really coming back strong, nice strong leg kick, higher stroke rate than the rest of the girls, and she finishes in a 2:28.92, so still a good bit above her personal best in this heat swim.
That is a fantastic finish from Amy Noble as well, it must be said, swimming from lane 8. What a freestyle leg from Amy Noble to finish second behind Trait. As we go to the final heat of 13 in the women's 15 and over 200-meter individual medley, we have Molly Main, the standout name, going in lane 4. Molly Main, very much a breaststroker, but a very strong IMer as well. O'Connor, Bailey, McCabre, Ricca, Main, Kidney, Farrell, Nolan, Sech, and Purcell. Oh, and Main is not in the lineup, so
leaves the field wide open.
It does leave the field wide open, but it's a good-looking start here for Kidney going in 5. Rika looking decent in lane 3 as well. Coming up to the first 50 after the fly leg, they'll turn and then head into the backstroke leg. It's Kidney ahead of Rika with Bailey third.
Yeah, obviously no Ellen Walsh here. She's at the World Championships in Fukuoka in Japan. She set new Irish senior record, qualified for the Olympic Games next year in Paris only a few days ago in this event. I think it was, slipped from my mind, but I think it was a 2:10.9, maybe something like that. So super fast world class swim. All these girls aspiring to be like Ellen Walsh and make that next big step to international competition. But it looks like top of our screen, the Sunday's Wells swimmer Antonina Sek or Beth Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan looks to be very strong. Nolan looking very good from lane 7 through the opening couple of legs. Nolan has just fallen back now. Into the breaststroke they come, and Farrell is showing how strong she is, but also going very strongly in lane 3. Lavinia Ricca, the 2:27.44 swimmer over this distance at her best, looking to just bring the time down. And for so many of these swimmers, it's about personal bests and milestone achievements in their swimming careers. But there's also the small matter of potentially swimming in a final to come.
Yeah, and it's all practice for these swimmers, you know, like being able to swim under the lights in the evening here. It's a real skill to be able to swim faster and get yourself up for the final. you know, when there's more at stake, maybe medals at stake, pressure on yourself, pressure from family, parents, coaches, whatever it might be. So every single time these swimmers step foot in the pool, they'll be learning something, whether it's a good swim or a bad swim. But the field's really separated here now, Dwayne.
Yeah, it does, but it looks like Kidney is strongest and holding on for what'll be a victory over Rika. Kidney, Farrell on her outside as well. And Kidney is going to come to the wall fastest ahead of Farrell. Macabre finishes third. Rika finishes only fourth at the end of this race.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a close final tonight. There's nobody really stand out there, is there, ahead of the field? You know, so all around that 225, was it? 227 kind of margin. So with no Molly Main, that'll be, I mean, for the viewers at home, that'll make it for a more interesting race as opposed to just one swimmer bombing out ahead of the field. Just the one more individual event, I think, this morning.
Indeed, just the men's 15 and over 100 meter butterfly to come. This is the Irish Summer National Youth and Senior Championships at the National Aquatic Centre in Dublin. It's lovely to look around the venue as well and see all the swimming clubs represented, the flags and the banners that are floating around the venue. Got a lot of Czech swimmers as well that have made their way to Dublin to compete. So the Czech flag is also among those that are waving proudly inside the venue. But to the men's 15 and over 100 meter butterfly, we start with heat 13 of 20. Switzer, Ryan, Bradley, David, Registe, McNichol, Price, French, O'Grady and George. Looking for a good start. Ali Ryan got off to a really good start, so too did Ben David going in lane 3.
Absolutely, so Ben David really using that first 15 metres well, so he's strong on this fly. A little bit more up and down movement, but again, I know I've mentioned it before, back to that UCD swimming of breathing to the side on butterfly, so it looks like all UCD swimmers are taking that movement when it comes to this fly event. But turning strong there on a 27.52. Ben's entry time is a 103.7, so if he can maintain that pace, he's definitely going to be looking to break that 60-second barrier in this heat.
So looking to maintain that kind of pace, it's going to be a tough ask as well. He went out fairly quickly, but can he come home as quickly as he would like? Breathing to the side, as you say, on every stroke as well is the UCD swimmer out in front, Ben David. Ali Ryan is currently second, and the two of them are well ahead of anybody else in the pool at this juncture. But coming up towards the wall now, the UCD man is going to touch in just over a minute, 1 minute point 130. A very good swim from Ben David.
Absolutely. So, like you said there, Dwayne, he was breathing every one, which I think was actually slowing him down slightly. The breath to the side it's a very strong tool to use on fly if you're able to stay quite low to the water. I think maybe going out on a 27 was just a little bit too fast there for Ben, but coming back on a 32 and still getting down to that 60-second barrier, though, that's the next barrier he's going to be looking to break.
To heat 14 of 20 we go. Davis, Woolley, Pung, Galland, Garvey, Ramchandani, Gray, Fagan, Mitchell and Mann. Quickly into the pool, particularly from Bradley Mitchell out in lane 8. It's a really good start. So too from Lewis Gray going in 6. But in his stroke, it looks to be the man in lane 1, James Woolley, who is looking strongest across the opening 25 odd metres.
Absolutely, James Woolley having a really strong, he's got an interesting stroke here. He really glides out to the front, heels coming up quite high at the back. There's only 0.3 separating this entire field coming into this second heat of the morning swim. 27.7 for James Woolley. But again, let's just have a look at his stroke. So you can see here, he really kicks down, heels come up really high, and he glides into every single stroke. So he is gaining a good bit of distance per stroke in comparison to some of the other lads in this field.
Looking to go sub 1 minute will be the aim for many of these swimmers if they can hold on. But Woolley is looking strongest in the finish. It looks like Galland is next strongest in the pool, but Woolley to the wall ahead of Galland, 1 minute point 87 seconds, so just a little slower than the 13th heat.
Absolutely. It really looks like James Woolley there has been working on his undulation drills when it comes to fly, because he's using it really strongly on that stroke, and then just the last 3 strokes I think he just tied up a little bit. So I think the 60-second barrier is definitely there for James Woolley. Hopefully he'll get a second swim.
Wilson, Martin, McAvaney, Lawrence, Toomey, Taggart, Merrigan, Lannon, Connolly and Velik. One of the Czech swimmers, the 15-year-old, goes in lane 9. Adam Velik. Great underwater from Velik, incidentally, who comes up very late near the 15-meter mark. Into his stroke he comes, but in the near side lane, looks like Jacob Martin is looking strongest.
Absolutely, so he's got a very high stroke here, Jacob Martin, to be honest. He's coming up quite high. He could use a lot of that power to shoot himself just a little bit further forward, but it does look like lane number 3. Oh no, Jacob's still taking that first 50, 28.28, but lane number 3 just slightly behind him, 6/100 of a second, Ethan Lawrence, 28.34. Ethan just having a little bit of a smoother stroke here as he comes down the second half of this 100-meter butterfly, still breathing every one, so very similar to Chad Leclos.
Ethan Lawrence is showing some real strength in the back end, so too is Andrew Toomey. Toomey is coming back very nicely, but Ethan Lawrence is holding on, the 18-year-old bluefin swimmer. A 1:02.67 seed time, and it's going to be just outside that here, a 1:01.28. Ethan Lawrence touches just ahead of Andrew Toomey. 1:01.67 for Toomey.
So again, just slightly slower than the previous heat, but a good PB there from Ethan Lawrence, 18-year-old from bluefin, to bring it down by nearly a second and a half, so I'm sure I'll be happy with that.
To heat 16 of 20, Cummings, Howard, O'Neill, Rynn, Griffin, Fain, O'Driscoll, Irwin, Moen and Smith. So no Irwin going in 7.
Good start there from lane number 3. So Owen Rynn taking it out quite strong off that first 15 metres. Coming up, he's got a lovely stroke, really leading with that pinky finger, so keeping the arms nice and straight, getting a good bit of distance per stroke here. Let's see what these lads can turn on in this first 50. Looks like a 27 mid, a 28.1 for Owen Rynn, lane number 3.
Off the wall and coming out quickly, it's Rynn who's looking strongest at the moment. Rynn coming up towards the 25-meter mark to go. Rynn is leading. Not by a massive distance, but he's leading at the moment, and that is all that counts in his head.
So our 2 fastest entry times are the same time, 61.69, but it does look like Rynn is going to take this final heat. Maybe actually lane number 8 is going to take second position. It is, it's Owen Rynn, 1:01.02, and Matthew Moen out in lane number 8 taking that second position, 1:01.38.
Great swim from Owen Rynn, holding on, but a 1:01.02. To heat 17 we go, and no swimmer in lane 7. Hughes, Brennan, Lanigan, Wright, O'Connor, Maguire, Lynch. 8 is McCarthy, and Barrett goes in 9. Very solid underwater from McCarthy, the 16-year-old, but the man who's come out in front is Liam O'Connor going in 4. Liam O'Connor looking decently strong. Brennan going in lane 1 as well is looking good, and alongside him Lanigan in 2.
Absolutely. Liam O'Connor is our fastest entry time into this. He's the closest person to breaking that 60-second barrier. 60.75 is his entry time. We've got Conor Lanigan taking the first 50 though, 27.64. So again, these lads are going to have to start really using that leg kick if they want to break the 60 seconds here.
Great turn though from the man in lane 4, Liam O'Connor. Touched 4th fastest overall, but coming into the final 25 meters, he is leading now. A superb turn off the wall. He looked really good. But going strong in lane 2 is Lanigan as well. But it looks like it's O'Connor who is going to be taking this one. O'Connor is half a body length in front of Lanigan at the moment, and O'Connor will come to the wall comfortably in front. A 31.56 final 50. It's 1 minute dead. 60 seconds on the nose.
I know, I was literally just about to say maybe he didn't hit the wall, but to be honest, Liam O'Connor actually hit the wall perfectly there. So 60-second dead is just a little bit frustrating. I'm sure he would have liked to see in the 59, but he swam that race really, really well.
Now to the seeded heats we go, heat 18 of 20. And this is where we're going to see the fastest of the fastest swimmers. Now to Jack Casson, who can swim the 54 seconds over this distance. He'll be going in the final of the heats. But in heat 18 of 20, we've got Ryn McLeod, Ahmed Fitzgerald, Registe, Eatwell, Kilcoyne, Flanagan, McMullen and Quinn going in 9. But the Lisbon swimmer, 55.47 seed time. Dylan Registe, it's going to take some swim to upset him. Faris Ahmed got away nicely in 2. But the man going in lane 4, Registe, is looking very strong.
Absolutely. Dylan Registe has just come out of the 50-metre freestyle as well, so he's putting himself through a second event this morning. But let's not forget about Jerry Quinn out in lane number 9, so one of our previous international swimmers. He had an absolutely outstanding 200-metre freestyle yesterday, probably one of the most impressive swims from yesterday evening, so let's not put him out of the race just yet. Lane number 9, he's in 4th position at the moment, but let's see if we can come back in. We do have lane number 5 in 1st position, the guard swimmer, Charlie Eatwell.
Yeah, how about that from Eatwell? He touched first and his turn was superb and he's not being caught. Charlie Eatwell is looking really strong in lane 5 and looking to not only beat Registe but the remainder of the field as well. Going in lane 9, Quinn is still holding on to potentially a place in the top 3, but can he hold on? Eatwell ahead of Registe. It is indeed Eatwell ahead of Registe. 56.34 over 56.73.
Absolutely, really, really strong swim there from Charlie Eatwell to be bringing it down to 56.34, nearly half a second PB for a morning swim. Again, Dylan Registe, we knew he was going to be strong, but again, Jerry Quinn taking the 4th position there, 57.67.
So Eatwell, superb, 56.34. To heat 19 of 20 we go. O'Loughlin Brophy will start in lane 0. Shoki, Hand, Colgan, McAvaney, Leggett, Mohammed, Morgan, Shaw and Moran will go in lane 9. McAvaney, 55.11 swimmers, seed time. One of the National Centre Limerick swimmers who's at these championships. The Bromwich and McAvaney got away very nicely. Very long underwater from McAvaney. Leggett alongside him broke water very, very early in this race. But McAvaney is not leading at the moment. The man in front is Hussein Shoki, the 15-year-old Hamilton swimmer. He's gone sub 60 seconds and he's absolutely flying, if you'll pardon the pun, in this opening 50.
Absolutely. Hussein Shoki as well had a strong swim yesterday, so we know that he is on form, taking it in 26.27.
Wow.
That's a very strong start there from the Hamilton swimmer, but it does look like lane number 4 had a very strong underwater there. Brogan Mavini, we know that he is strong in this 50 fly, so it looks like he might just be taking the lead coming into this last 25 metres.
Yeah, certainly took it out to first. He's lost it on the turn as well and doesn't have it in the back 50. It is Brogan McAvaney who is leading the way ahead of the man on his inside, Adam Colgan. Adam Colgan, a very fine swim from him, but it is going to be McAvaney here on the stroke. How about that? 56.53, a very fine time as well for Brogan McAvaney, ahead of Colgan, who touched second.
Absolutely, 56.53. I don't know if Brogan will be happy with that. He was very much leaning to that right-hand side of the lane rope, so maybe that was taking away a little bit. So when it comes to a fly, they should really be aiming down the centre, using that kind of clear water for the fly. So definitely something Brogan can have a look at for this evening's swim.
The final individual heat of the morning, it is the men's 15 and over 100 metre butterfly. Keogh, Mathers, Kay, McKinnon, Casson, Tebbit, Candill, Mason, Higgins and Leggett. And it looks to be Jack Casson in lane 4 who is strongest. Another one of the National Centre Limerick swimmers finds himself with a seed time of 54.29. He should be the swimmer to beat, and he's leading the way and controlling the pace of this swim.
Absolutely, Jack Hassan is our Irish junior record holder in this event, so 54.29, he broke that back in April, so that was Brendan Hyland's previous record, so it took a while for that record to break, but he's looking really strong. I love Jack Hassan's underwater work. He always comes up a body length ahead, and you can see here he's really just cruising this fly. He knows that no one's going to touch him here in this 100 metre fly. Nice strong stroke here from Jack.
Jack Casson is looking imperious in this race. He's over a body length in front of anybody else. Rory McKinnon is going to touch second, but Cassin is well ahead of 54.73. He is completely dominated in this event. And it looks like he's the man to beat. That is a significant marker that's been laid down by Jack Cassin.
Absolutely. It doesn't look like he's actually two-faced in the water there, so he doesn't look like he's too out of breath. 54.73. It's only half a second above that Irish junior record that he set back in April, so hopefully we'll see some fantastic swimming from him this evening.
And while we've had the individual events concluded for this morning session, we've got the mixed 15 and over 400 meter medley relays. This is always a bit of fun.
Yeah, recent addition to the swimming program, only a few years old. The mixed relays, very, very interesting. The different sort of tactics you can use, where you put the females, where you put the males. So, you know, it's up to the teams to decide whatever, you know. I mean, generally speaking, at the top level, you'll see male at the, you know, at the Olympics and the World Championships, you'll see the males doing the backstroke and the breaststroke, and the females doing the fly and the freestyle. But if you're some of the nations where you've got to sort of decide, like Ireland, for example, they would maybe have to put Mona on the breaststroke because she's so good, you know. So you have to try and work out, you know, tactics as well. It's not only just about putting your fastest swimmers in.
So Limerick, Hamilton and Mallow will go in 3, 4 and 5.
So as you can see, let me stand up and get a look here. Yeah, the Hamilton team, the Mallow team have gone with a male for the backstroke, and Limerick have gone with a female on the backstroke. So expect the leads potentially to change a lot.
Now this is one of the most entertaining aspects of it, because you've got 2 males and 2 females, and it doesn't matter which of the swimmers or which of the strokes the swimmers swim in. You could see a male breaststroker against a female breaststroker. You could see, as we're seeing now, a male backstroker who is completely dominating in the pool in Roy M. Tolba for Hamilton, who's leading the way. But they've got Julie Salah to come, and then Jade Kursha before Hussein Shoki will bring it home. The 15-year-old in the free.
Massive gap here, early doors. So,
but this could change.
It could change, yeah. I mean, but the gap is absolutely ginormous, though. If you remember back to the Olympic Games, or I can't remember, it was the World Championships, the British team had Adam Peaty on the breaststroke, and they were so far behind. But Adam Peaty went up against a couple of female breaststrokers that were so far ahead, and you wouldn't have believed he could have caught them, and he did, and it made for a really exciting sort of race. So that's the sort of the excitement this brings. But I mean, this lead looks absolutely, surely they can't catch this up.
Well, you wouldn't think, certainly not. And Hamilton's have got a very fine squad that they've assembled and brought to Dublin for the event. But Eve O'Donoghue Cronin is showing some strength.
And I was shocked Ireland didn't put a 4x1 mixed medley team in at the World Championships. You know, that happened, I think, yesterday, was it, India? But, you know, I was shocked they didn't put a team in, because they would have had a great shot at getting a really high place. Especially with the likes of Mona McSharry, Ellen Walsh, Conor Ferguson swimming well, Shane Ryan swimming not too badly. So, you know, strange one.
Well, Julie Salah is swimming very nicely here for Hamilton, who are leading the way in lane 4. It'll be Jade Kursha now next into the pool. And she will go 100 meters fly, and then into the free we will go.
And remember, this is heat declared winner, so although Hamilton seem to be miles ahead in this heat, which they are, you know, whatever time they go, the remaining 3 heats are going to have to go faster than that to get a medal. So it all depends on what time you set, even though they're not racing each other directly in the heats. You know, it's about setting a time. So whatever time Hamilton go here, you'd imagine they'd win. Remember it and see if any teams can go faster. So the medals are being awarded this morning for this event as opposed to the evening session.
That's right. Hussein Shoki will be in the pool shortly. He's just 15 years old, but he is a very fine swimmer in the freestyle, young freestyler. Where 25 odd meters is the lead at the moment for Hamilton over Malo. Limerick third at the moment. So Hamilton with 100 meters to go. Hussein Shoki is in the pool, and the 15-year-old has plenty of space, but it's about posting the times most significantly.
Yeah, open water for days for him, clear water. Lovely high elbow strokes, seen him a number of times at the championships. The camera team are doing their best to keep everyone in shot and doing a great job. But they're going to be first by an absolute mile. They had a great backstroke leg, didn't they? Set them up lovely for this 4x1 mixed medley here on day 2 of the Irish Summer Championships.
Roy Tolba was superb in the backstroke leg, and then in the breaststroke, Julie Salah before the fly stroke. Jade Kusha held on to the advantage that had been created, certainly by Tolba initially. And I mean, we're looking at over 50 meters the lead from Limerick, but that's a great win for Hamilton. 4:17.22.
So remember that one, folks at home. 4:17.22. That'll take some beating. But some great swimmers coming up. Some great teams still to come up. So don't think it's done just yet. But a great introduction to the mixed relays. I know when I swam, I loved swimming on the relays, and the few chances I did get to swim on a mixed relay, it brings a different dynamic to the sport, which is really, really nice. Getting to swim with females that you train with. But coming in now is the Mallow team. Not going to challenge for any medals.
And then Limerick bringing it home. Mallow with O'Keefe, O'Donoghue, Cronin, Buckley, and then O'Keefe to finish. And Limerick touch third, 5:15.64.
There's confirmation on your screen of results. Hamilton taken by just under a minute from Mallow, and a good bit from Limerick as well. So 4:17.22 is time to beat. As we move on to Heat 2, just the 4 heats here, or finals if you want to call them, because this is where the medals will be decided here this morning. But some fast swimmers going in this one.
Yeah, that was Mellow's B team. Mellow's A team is going in the opening one. So to Heat 2 of 4 finals. Timberlake, Sharks, Swim Belfast as well. Sligo, Ballymena have got 2 teams, A and B. Mellow's A, then Limerick and Tirrenia. So starting from inside the pool with the backstroke first, and then into the breaststroke, and then the fly and the free. Mellow's A team is fairly strong with Daisy O'Toole, Shannon Harvey, Fiona Garvey, and Fiona O'Keefe, who will swim last. But again, it's about trying to get the balance right, and there's no set method that you can use to get it right. But you've just got to have 2 men and 2 women in the pool across the 4 strokes, and it doesn't matter if you swim male, male, female, female, or male, female, female, male, as long as you get them in the pool and swimming in different strokes. There's so many calculations that come into play, and it is at the moment looks to be Timperlog who's leading the way.
Absolutely, I love the addition of the mixed relay into the swim program now. It's always one of the most exciting races now. There's always that extra little bit of competition from swimmers when it comes to the relays. Swimming is a very individual sport. You train as a team, you compete as an individual, but when it comes to the relays, you're not just swimming for yourself, you're swimming for the rest of your team. And what you'll probably notice about a lot of swimmers is they are catchers, so they like to see sometimes that there's someone just out in front of them, and particularly in this mixed relay, the field can change from leg to leg, so it's really a great competition. But just off that first leg here, we have Temple Oak taking the lead. We've got Andrew Mullen into the water next. Sorry, Andrew Mullen just taking that back row leg. We've got a female swimmer here going for the breaststroke leg.
Zoe Brown in the pool now for Temple Oak. And this is where things can change. Going in lane 7, Limerick A looking good. Owen Corby, 136.98, touch first. Anthony Marr touches next for Sligo.
Absolutely, we knew Corby was going to take this out down strong. He's one of our strongest breaststroke swimmers in Ireland at the moment, so pretty much being able to post a time of 59. We didn't see that from him yesterday, but we know that he is capable of that. He's eating up the water here as he comes down this last 25 metres, so really giving Limerick a decent lead here as they come on to the butterfly leg. They've got a female swimmer coming in for their butterfly leg. She takes over well, straight into the water, so they have a good 5 or 6 seconds ahead of lane number 8, which is Tara Nuer.
2:10:30. Well, Temple Oak were leading after the opening leg. Zoe Brown was in the water next, but things have changed substantially. But into the water now. Harvey in the water now for Mallows. I'm just going through the various lanes, and the swimmers Limerick A are leading, and they look to be holding on to a fair advantage here. Abby Yelverton in the pool.
Absolutely, Abby's a young swimmer. She's only about 15-16 years of age, so going out in a 33 there on the 50 fly. She's doing well to hold this lead for Limerick though. They'll be moving on to their final swimmer now soon, but it does look like Tara Nuer and also lane number 3 really gaining some ground. That's Sligo, Kyle Kelly gaining a decent amount on this fly leg. So we're all finishing off these top 3 swimmers. They're all going with a female swimmer to finish.
Kyle Kelly of Sligo touches first. They are leading coming into the final 100. Remember the time to beat, 4:17.22 is the mark laid down by Hamilton in the opening heat of this finals event.
Strong swim from the Sligo swimmer here. She's just slightly starting to take this lead. Let's see what this split time is going to be. Is any team going to go faster than that 4:17 mark? I don't think we're going to see a team faster than 4:17 in this second heat, but it is Tara Nuer that's just slightly taking the lead here. 3 females to finish this second heat. It's neck and neck between all 3.
So Sligo are just out of it at the moment, but the battle is out wide. It looks like Limerick and Tara Nuer are battling for top spot. It's going to be Limerick A who touches 4:21.09, 4:21.67 for Tara Nuer. Sligo do finish in the top 3.
Absolutely, so it wasn't faster than our previous heat. Previous heat again, Hamilton in 4:17.22, but the second heat definitely gave us a good bit of atmosphere there, gave us a good competition between those 3 teams, Limerick, Sligo and Tara Nuer. So we've got 2 more heats to see if anyone else can beat that 4:17.22.
Yeah, confirmation of results coming up now. There we go. Limerick 4:21.09, Tara Nuer 4:21.6, and Sligo in a 4:22. They were the standout 3 teams in final number 2. But Hamilton still stand first, 4:17.2. We'll see if anybody can challenge at all here. Some fast teams going in the last heat as well. Lauren are entering a 4:03. Ards in a 4:11, NEC in a 4:07. So we actually got Czech team as well.
Yeah,
So
4:13, yes.
Last heat's going to be interesting, but
But this third heat of 4 has got some fantastic swimmers as well in it, and it could be a very, very tight encounter. Sunday's Well A and B teams, Leander, Asgard, Dolphin, Athlone, Kingdom, Bangor, Glen Albin, and Dolphin B team goes in lane 9. So you're looking at a host of teams that can break the 4:30 mark, but the marker laid down by Hamilton in the opening heat is 4:17.22, I remind you.
Yeah, and I think currently silver and bronze are what, 4:21, 4:22, that kind of direction. So silver and bronze up for grabs too. So just scan the pool here. What have we got? We've got majority. Oh, it's a big mix actually. Looks like half the field are going for females first and half the field going for males first.
There is no easy formula in this race. This is the mixed 15 and over 400 meter medley relay. It certainly adds a great deal of excitement. And certainly when you see the mixed relay events being introduced, it has added an element of excitement to many swimming meets since the events have been brought in.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, when it was first introduced, I was very skeptical about it because I feel swimming probably has too many events anyway. You know, on the Olympic program especially, do we need to keep adding events? So I was skeptical about it. Similarly, when they added the men's 800 freestyle and the women's 1500, you know, do we need more events? But it's been a fantastic addition, and I was so happy to be proved wrong. And it was just, personally, I think it's the most exciting race now. One of the most exciting races on the swimming calendar.
Charlie Cassidy is bringing home the backstroke leg of this 400 meter medley relay. So they've gone male of Dolphins A.
Yeah, more traditional way to do it. That's the way teams would do it. If they can go male, get a good lead so swimmers don't get caught in the wash. You know, sometimes if you're trying to catch up, if you're a female against a male, you can get caught in that wash, even though those lane ropes are of the highest quality, and stop that. The waves you can see coming over the side. There's absolutely no waves coming into the other lane. But you still get some kind of wash, so if you're way behind, you will get stuck in that wash and it can slow you down. So if you can avoid that at all costs, you should. So Dolphin building up a big lead.
Dolphin opening up a significant lead here indeed. At the moment, the second place Sunday's Well B team going, Sunday's Well A team going in lane 1 is next best at the moment. There's Isabel Kidney in the pool. And that's pretty good with a male first swimmer and then a second swimmer, female, to be second after 150 meters in the race. That's a decent sign for Sunday's Well A.
Big lead here for Dolphin. They have 2 females to go. There's a male going in now for Bangor. So we'll see how much of the gap they can close.
Bangor going in lane 7, so Shannon Byrne and then Callum Slaughter, then Ciara Creaney in the water now for Bangor. Samuel Wright rather in the pool for Bangor. But Dolphin still leading the way. And it's Heather Fain.
He's closing the gap massively, Samuel Wright. You know, so don't be expected if he almost closes it near fully. Or close to it. And then both these teams that are way out in front, Bangor and Dolphin, will have female swimmers going on the freestyle. So Samuel Wright's got to do his very best to close this gap for Bangor.
There's a tremendous battle as well between the Sunday's Well A and B teams who are swimming side by side in lanes 0 and 1. They currently find themselves in 3rd and 4th position overall. Heather Fain is going to touch first. Dolphin maintain their lead. Are they going to be able to hold on to this advantage? Bangor touch second. The time to beat is 4:17.22. It doesn't look like that mark is going to be achieved by either one of these teams. But as you say, there's the possibility of swimming for one of the minor medals.
Yeah, 4:21, 4:22 is sort of where we are for the silver and bronze at the moment. But Dolphin have held an advantage the whole race and they haven't looked back. Samuel Wright did his best to close, and he did. But the team just too strong, the Dolphin freestyler.
Hannah O'Shea in the pool now for Dolphin, and she looks to be bringing it home. Going in lane 7, Elena Samir for Bangor. But this is a great swim from Dolphin overall. They started male-male and they have brought it home with female-female. Hannah O'Shea will touch first. Is she going to go sub 4:17.22? No, just outside 4:17.66. So the second fastest time. But that was a very fine last 100 meters
really
from
good.
Hannah O'Shea.
I'm not sure how it works. I think I have to check the rules, but I think because Hamilton are a foreign club, they're not an Irish club, I think they will get the commemorative medal if they win. So at the minute, Dolphin are the fastest Irish club, so they'll be pleased about that. For the time being, one more heat to go though.
What a swim. To the final action in the morning session. It is 4x100 medley relay. New Ross, Banbridge, Lawn, Ards, Lawn A, NAC, Czech national team, Trojan, Galway and Athlone A. More entertainment here undoubtedly. NAC and Larne, two very quick teams over this distance. Ards never to be discounted. Larne A I'm talking about specifically, going in lane 4.
Absolutely not. We've got some fast swimmers here coming in to heat number 4, our final heat of the mixed relay. So those teams are currently in the lead again. Hamilton are fastest qualifiers, but we've got Dolphin, the fastest Irish team, 4:17, then Sunday as well, 4:20.1, and then Limerick in a 4:21. So those are the 3 times that these swimmers are going to be looking towards. One advantage of going into that final heat is knowing what times have been produced in the previous 3 heats, particularly in a heat declared win. They've only got one chance to try and beat those times. So I'm sure these teams were watching from the background and know what they have to try and produce here.
Swimmers on deck, and again this race adds a great deal of excitement. Backstroke, breaststroke, fly and free, 100 meters for each of the swimmers in each of the strokes. But you've got 2 female swimmers and 2 male swimmers, and you've got to decide which of your swimmers you're going to put out in which order. Are you going to swim male, back and breaststroke and try to gain an early advantage, or are you going to ask your faster swimmers to go in the final legs?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to see what Larne A team can produce with Morgan Berryman and Thomas Leggett on that team. Again, 4:17 is our fastest entry time into this race. Looks like we have a mixed field coming into this first 100 metres, so half male and half female coming into this first 100 metres of the final heat. It is lane number 5, Matthew Walcoty from NAC taking the first turn.
Yeah, it looked like he took it at the turn fastest. NRS going in lane 0 as well, looking really strong. NRS through Emmett Cousins.
Absolutely, we had Emmett producing a fast time in that 200 metre backstroke as well, so we know he's going to be strong on this first leg. New Ross touching there in a 59.85, only team to break that 60-second barrier for the first leg. NAC just slightly behind, about half a second behind, and then Trojan following about 3 seconds behind that. So onto a female leg now for the NAC, taking for lane number 4.
Going nicely in lane number 5, Beth Gardner for NAC at the moment. Going very strongly in lane 0, Evan Bailey of NRS. So they're looking to take it out male, and NRS A touches first, 1:30.38 to the 1:50 mark.
Absolutely, Larne B really cruising some fast speed here as well, gaining some ground on this 100 metre breaststroke leg. It does look like lane number 7 might just be taking the lead though. Lane number 7, that's John Mulhall of Trojan.
Every so often we see a B team pipping an A team. Is there much competition in amongst the A and the B sides that head out in these relays?
Absolutely, you'll see that the coach will definitely put the fastest 4 swimmers onto that A team. You'll see that there might not be a slight differences between maybe some of the breaststroke teams, so like maybe a breaststroke split or a fly split might be similar enough, but they'll definitely have some of their fastest swimmers on the A team in comparison to those B teams. But it is New Ross that's still taking the lead here from that outside lane. Ava Bailey, we know that she is a strong flyer. She's just come out of the 100 fly.
So New Ross leading the way. Going in lane 0, New Ross. It's a battle now to hold on. 4:22.9 seed time coming into this event, but they finish female-female, and that is going to be very difficult to hold on to the advantage of Ards. NACA also looking stronger now.
Absolutely. Charlie Ewell of Ards really gaining some ground here on the New Ross swimmer Ava Bailey. Pretty much stroke for stroke here, but he is going to be touching first coming into this final leg. They've got a female swimmer for Ards to finish off this last leg.
That's a great swim from Eatwell. Ards back in front, or in front now for the first time. NAC, New Ross, third quickest overall. Lauren B in the battle between Lauren A and B leading the charge.
Absolutely, 3 top swimmers here. We're all finishing off with a female leg, so Charlie Eatwell really giving his Ards team a strong finish here. For Ards, we have Olivia Miss Kelly finishing off this leg. She is turning here now on a 28.31, 3:39 split. It does look like she could go faster than that 4:17 mark. So really needs to keep those legs moving nice and hard, keep her head down and finish this wall strong.
How about this, the battle between Miss Kelly and Brown with Thomas Leggett for Lauren charging between them. At the moment, it's about whether or not he can bring Lauren back into claim the win here. It looks like Miss Kelly is going to hold on to the wall, but the fight back from Leggett has been superb. But it is in lane 3. The victory for Ards.
Great battle there between Ards and Lauren. So Lauren coming back strong there and a 27.14 split. So only just about half a second behind that Ards team, but Ards held it strong from Charlie Ewell, finishing in on that third leg, the 100-meter fly, just giving enough distance for Ards to maintain that lead.
And New Ross holding on for third place. 4:14.81.
So we saw 3 podium winners there in the final heat. Ards taking the gold, 4:12.06. Lauren taking the silver in a 4:12.74, and New Ross taking the bronze medal in a 4:14.81.
Well, that concludes the 4th session of the Irish Summer National Youth and Senior Championships at the National Aquatic Centre in Dublin. Session 5 to come.